All right, so for this fleece pullover hoodie, since it's heavy duty and it's 100% polyester, we're gonna go ahead and use Supacolor Blocker on this because you don't entirely need that low cure adhesive, but you still need that blocker. So let's go ahead and move forward with it. All right, so now that we've got our blocker transfers and our actual hoodie here, let's go ahead and get started. So first, thread the front of your hoodie onto the press here. All right, now let's go ahead and do a test press. Go ahead. You want to tighten it just until you can't close it, then you loosen it, and that's the perfect amount of pressure right there. So now we can get started with placing our first transfer on the front. So in a thicker polyester garment like this, because so much dye has been used in dyeing it, you may experience some dye migration, so that's why we're using a blocker for this today. So let's go ahead and place our first transfer here, usually about 1 to 1.5 inches from the neckline, even from either side, and go ahead and press. Uphill with confidence from corner to corner. That came off amazingly. So now, post press to lock it in. All you need is 2-second post press and you're good to go. All right, now that we've done our front, let's go ahead and do the back. So again, we're gonna flip it over. We're gonna thread it onto the platen. And since this was all bunched up under the press, you may notice it's all wrinkly. So we've already set our pressure. Let's just do a quick pre-press just to even it all out. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and grab our back graphic here. So here's one thing you always want to do, especially with hoodies. Not only do you want to get your positioning right, this is what I call the hoodie test. And ultimately what that does is, it's not always going to be raining, it's not always going to be super cold weather. So from time to time, or for a majority of the time, at least in California here, a lot of people will be wearing hoodies but not wearing the actual hood. So it's going to be hanging down like that when they're actually wearing it. So unless you want the graphic to be covered, that's when you can kind of adjust as needed. And you may notice some prints don't work very well because the hoodie's covering it. And for that reason, I always recommend doing the hoodie test so that it's not entirely covered, but it's just the right placement to where it wouldn't be once it's being worn that way. So once it's good to go, let's go ahead and push it in and press. Uphill with confidence. Perfect, came up so good. And now post press to lock it in. Perfect. Now up next is our sleeve print. Now a sleeve print can be fairly simple, especially on a platen like this when you don't have like a chest platen or a sleeve attachment. The easiest way to go about it is when your bulk order comes in, it'll usually come in with the center crease on it. You use that center crease to mark your center and then you load your garment on the press. So what we're gonna do now is put the excess underneath and on the side here. And now here's where these guys come into play. These are custom cut heat press pads that are designed to lift print areas over the actual seams or anything else that might be causing an uneven press area. So first I have this back one back here that allows it to have even pressure across the board. Then I'm gonna place my actual sleeve print right here, right above that reflective stripe. So go ahead and adjust your press pad there. And using your fingers, you want to feel around so that it at least has a center area for you to place your transfer on just before you actually press. And grab your excess, put it on the side of the press so that that doesn't disturb you at all. Or if when it opens, it doesn't fall off and completely ruin your application. So as long as it's resting to the side of the press or under the press, it's not going to disturb it at all. And now, adjust your pressure since we're using these pads. And we'll do a quick test press just to ensure we have the proper pressure, and we do. You want to have that nice amount of resistance in the press to be able to properly press. Now let's take our sleeve print. We've marked our center. We don't want to be too high. We want it to be just right between the seam and the stripe, but not too high, as this will be the actual shoulder. You want it to be just rolling off where it rests right at the top of their bicep there. Okay, so once your transfer is in place, go ahead and press. Hot peel. Perfect. Now go ahead and post press. Awesome, and just like that, we finished our Hi-Viz branded crew hoodie.